Good evening. How are we? I think I need this. Hello people, how are we? He's alright. Just give me a wee second here to get myself sorted out. What's happening here? I've switched my PC on and it's a bit coincidental, but it brings some other aspects up for me. Let me just see here a wee second. Share. Sharing. I've received a copyright strike on my channel, Flat Earth Glasgow University Part 1. Reason copyright taken down request removed by Harry McDonald on February the 11th, 2020. Now what the fuck is that about? Because he's not even in any of the videos. So if that is indeed Mr. Harry McDonald, get it right up ye son. Right? You and your wee common purpose antics. You're fucking obvious. If it's not you, I still say the same. Right? But what is this about? Huh? Andy can just go in and start hitting copyright strikes, is that the game? Very snidey. Don't know what that's about. Very interesting, Harry McDonald. So, I'll be getting to that again, this mainstream media stuffs and what's actually going on. The mainstream media thing I'm going to be taking a look at was Mr. Mark Sargent appearing again on UK television. Now, I'm going to have to grass you up to Greta Thunberg, Mark, because you don't need to be hopping on aeroplanes to fly across the pond to talk to mainstream media. I'm here. I'll speak to them. Why is it always you and you're like, because I swear? That's okay. It's before the watershed. I'll behave myself. I won't swear. I promise. Very telling, very interesting. So I'll be having a wee look at that. I'm also going to have a wee look at Neil deGrasse Tyson. Very interesting yet again. You know, it's like these people just try and mimic and hijack things that have been stated by people of real truth, with real integrity. They try and hijack it and state it as if they're sitting on the side of objectivity, when the total opposite's true. They're barefaced liars. We know they're barefaced liars because the earth is not a sphere. It's a mathematical concept. It's a navigation tool. It's not a three-dimensional, tangible object that can be quantified, measured, demonstrated in any way, shape or form. It's bloody nonsense. How are we all? That's me. I'm clear now. I'm back to normality. So, and about this garbage. Back to it and all that stuff. How are we? Keith Anthony, Lazy Boy Researcher, Boris Chops, Gunner, Andy123, Kaz, how you doing? Anders Ace, Boris, Gunner, Uppercut, Midnight Gardener, Nicholas Brown, Rob, Jack Stander, TP in a tree, Sammy Shaw, Tracy Storia, how you doing? Bloody Stickler and Water, how's it going mate? Maggie M, how are you? Stephen Watson, Grasse, Dagon, Morningstar, Veronica, hello, Titarian, John C. Oddity, no story now, how you doing? Sky's the limit. Hello everybody, how are we? So as I say, obviously I've been hardly involved over the last month, but that's about to change. So let me just see, how do I get this again? Let me send here. History, it'll probably be in history. I just need to bear with me to get these. Aye, here he is, Mr. Tyson. Where was the other one? Bear with me a wee sec. I'm seeing a few bits and bobs of this as well that, hang on. So if anybody's got any info, obviously I'll need to have a wee look at it about how these copyright strikes can just be issued. As I say, it says on that it's from, what is it again? So the video only is 30 odd minutes long. So saying this copyright starts from 8 seconds to the end of the video. Don't get it. Where is this? Here we are, here it's here. So the only reason, again, I'm going through this is just to highlight some of the obvious, because as I say, it's a continual game that's being played. I'm just going to keep pointing at it every time I see it. Now, Mark Sargent's came to this channel before and made comments about all this unity rubbish. And again, the same as the Harry McDonald and any of these people, anything that was ever in question was the content they were offering. For me, there's muddying the waters, and I'm very suspicious of people who keep muddying the waters, especially people who have been involved in it for a number of years, and they still can't quite grasp it. They still can't quite represent it. I mean, that to me just doesn't make any sense. So, this is not an attack on anybody's person, right? This is about the content that they're offering up. And again, it's valuable and it's important to me because I give a fuck. I know the significance and the importance of knowing exactly where I am. It's massive. As I've said so many times before, you know, the subjective aspects that people partake in their lives, the things that they call a life, their self-identity, you know, their culture, their family, who they think they are, what drives them. These are things that are ideas and concepts. They're not something that's rooted in objectivity, i.e. like if there was a purpose to this existence, or what this existence was actually about. If you do not know even where you are, what is it that you're partaking in? These should be the questions people are asking themselves. So, for anybody to come along and say, oh, what does it matter? What does it matter about the earth and the shape? No, there's other stuff happening. There's people starving and blah, 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 blah. Aye, of course. And it's all rooted in that. You know, we don't even know the foundations of our existence. So we're all running about chasing our tails, involved in narcissistic concepts and ideas of self-service, chasing delusions, running away from the valuable aspects of being, or what I consider valuable. Chasing stature and fucking money and whatever other drivel people want to go chasing. These things are driven by the worldview that has been pushed. The worldview that's been pushed over the previous 5-6 generations is a nonsensical, accidental, happenstance, chance existence for no rhyme or reason that came from fucking nowhere. So what kind of mindset do you think that's going to breed? So, again, that's why I highlight these things. Because I'm passionate about it. Because I really want the truth. Know somebody's story. Or their interpretation or version of what they think the truth is. Written down in some fucking book. Or proselytised through social media by some fucking guru. So when I see people like Master Mark Sargent appearing on mainstream media, already knowing that there's a muddying of the waters in regards to the questioning the shape of the earth, and they don't hammer on it, they don't represent it properly, as far as I'm concerned, then I'm getting suspicious of that. And I've aired my concerns about this in previous years, times gone by. It's no different. So when I watched it, I was never expecting it to be any different, to be honest with you. Predictable. But what I never predicted was some of the responses by people like Mr. Philip Schofield. And another thing, I couldn't give a fuck if you're a jobby jabber, Philip. I don't know why that's been made relevant. Is it just a big ruse because you secretly admire the BBC? You want some BBC, Philip? Is that what your game is? I don't mean the TV station. Aren't I funny? Has anybody cracked that joke yet? No. Probably. You jab the jobby all you like, Philip, my man, or anybody else out there that doesn't interest me, has no bearing on me. So he goes to, from coming out as gay to Mark Sargent appearing on, talking about flat earth, ice wall dome thing. That was another aspect of the Philip Schofield thing. I don't know if anybody's interested in it, but I heard it on the radio when I'm out in the car, you know. Statements being made about, I think I knew I was gay when I married. You need 2 kids. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I don't think I could suppress my sexuality to have sexual intercourse with another man just for sheer fuck it. I mean, that just doesn't compute in my brain. So I don't know what the fuck's going on there. How can you be with somebody for 26 years suppressing the sexuality? I mean, you think after 20 years of your missus not getting her hole, she might be going, something's not quite right here. Philip keeps asking me to put on suits and ties and rugby gear and all that. I mean, and then he doesn't perform. I mean, maybe it's just me. But hey ho, if you want to make your subjective nonsense public domain, then people like me are going to rip the pish. Sorry, Phil. You biggie, son. Get me on your fucking show. Promise I'll no swear, but I guarantee you, you're not going to sit there waffling the garbage that you waffled in this video. Anyway, right. Hello everybody, hope yous are all well and all that stuff. We're going to have a wee look. Where shall we start? Let's have a show of hands. Shall we start with Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson? Or shall we start with Mark Sargent and Philip Schofield and Holly Willoughby? The choice is yours. I will give you 25 seconds. Can we have a vote? Well, we'll get 2 deGrasses. 2 queers, okay. We've only got 1 Mark Sargent so far. 2 Sargents. Sorry Rick, my man. It looks as if you're being ousted to 2nd place. Right, okay. We'll get deGrasse Tyson first up. So let's have a wee look-see. Screen share. This is for whatever the thing is, scrutiny and all that. I don't own this stuff in case anybody tries to copyright strike me. Stop being a big pussy, Neil, and Philip and mainstream. Start speaking to real people. Because as I said before, I'm going to be back at the universities making a noise. Non-confrontational, non-violent. Just inquiry, discussion, a query into the nature of our objective reality that we all share. So invite me. Am I sharing alright? Am I sharing the full screen? Aye. Shutting down flat earthers. Oh, okay, this will be fucking good.
I don't like debating people because in a debate, what is the construct? It's typically two people and an audience.
This is sounding a wee bit familiar. You don't like debating people because it's not a debate, Neil. And you know that. Have you been listening, son? Objective facts are not up for debate. Debates are for ideas and concepts, i.e. you don't have a fucking clue what's actually going on. So things are subject to interpretation. I wonder where you're getting at, Neil.
And you debate some opposite sides of some issue, and then there's a winner of the debate. And then everyone walks away reflecting on the winner. So who wins the debate? It's often the person who's charismatic, who may be charming.
It's called sophistry, Neil. If you listened hard enough, you would know that. It's called sophistry. And it's usually people who are well versed in the trivium. Right? And they understand how to put it together. So that they can then sway the onlooker and have a wee vote and declare a winner. Right? But that doesn't establish objective facts, does it, Neil? You know that? So all this ruse that you're offering up here is just your get-out clause, because I've been saying that very same thing for years now, Neil. And I'm not going to shy away. I'll speak to you. We don't need to have a debate. You can just have a discussion. You can lay out your practical demonstrations, your measurements, your quantification of actual three-dimensional, tangible stuff. And we'll see what you've got in regards to the globe, because you know that I know you have diddly squat, son.
That's related to charisma, of course, who has a good way with words, good vocabulary. And you can have someone who doesn't have any of that, who is speaking objective truths, who could lose a debate.
What do you mean, somebody like me that's no academic, that fucks and blinds every other word? Huh? But yet, I can still identify what's objectively true and what's not. And I've ripped the pish out of academia and people who are full of hubris and pomposity. People like yourself, Neil. Aye. You're talking about me.
So then what is the point of the debate if one of these points of view is objectively true? So
that's just a fancy way of saying, or a different way of saying, that there is no debate. Objective reality is singular. You can either demonstrate something or you can't. It's very, very simple. Maybe these globe disciples, these zealots who have been attacking en masse people like myself for 5 years now, want to start paying attention to the high priest of their cult religion nonsense.
I will not enter a debate where I have the objectively true side of an argument and the other person doesn't.
But listen to that. He will not enter a debate when he has the objectively true side of an argument. Right? So he's still talking about arguing using words. Tell you what, Neil, I'll enter into it with you. You can bring your words all you like, but I'll win. Truth will win. Objective reality will win, because you've got nothing to demonstrate. Absolutely. Zilch.
It's not. That is something that should not be debated. Does not belong in front of an audience getting debated.
Exactly.
You want to
well said, Neil. Go and tell all these fucking globe proponents who are running about YouTubes, stealing everybody's lines and trying to hijack narratives and attitudes in order to sell products and make money out of spewing bile and crap. Trying to push forward concepts as objectivity, like globes. These cult followers of the heliocentric Big Bang globe Earth nonsense should start having a wee listening. This is the best sense Neil's ever spoken here. Although he's just subtly trying to hijack it and stand on a superior high ground as if he really has something. When people like me know you've got nothing, Neil, and it's all falling apart for you, sir. It really is falling apart.
debate something, debate political policy. of what to do in the face of climate change? Do you have carbon tax? Do you solar panels? Do you subsidize them? Debate that. Don't debate something that is or is not objectively true.
So I just told you that climate change and all that rubbish isn't objectively true. Isn't objectively true in regards to the way they're trying to portray it. You know, change happens, but the way they're trying to portray it is not true. So he's tripping himself up here quite a lot, old Neil boy.
The B.O.B., the rapper, I have a video letter to him.
Never mind B.O.B. the rapper, Neil. Why do you keep focusing on B.O.B.? Is it just because he's got a bigger following? Is that your game? Huh? You one of the guys? Oh, well, he'll know up my stature. There's not a big enough audience, so therefore, whatever. You keep going for the chaff, or the low-hanging fruit, as you're going to refer to soon.
Transcript of which is in letters from an astrophysicist. That rose to that level of attention because he started saying, I'm using laws of math and physics to show Earth is flat. Those are fighting words. You're going to say using math and physics? That is an alarm to the Geekiverse.
Well, Geekiverse, I'm going to make the claim that just using physics, practicality, actual reality, I can show you beyond any shadow of a doubt that the globe Earth is just a concept. So, there you go, Neil. No math required, son. We're not talking about formal languages, right? We're talking about practical references, demonstrations of tangible substance.
Must rise up and counteract these forces from the dark side that are out there.
So see all that, the emotional play, like he's fighting the dark side, like he's some fucking messiah warrior, right? This is what they always try this, they just flip it all, right? This is what liars do. He'll try and act like he's some superior saviour, you know, representing truth, yada yada. It's just that he's either a delusional, delirious moron, or he's a barefaced liar.
Signal went up. I responded. What is the bat signal? Oh, sorry. In my Twitter stream, there were people saying, Neil, you got to do something about B.O.B. Save him from himself. He's saying Earth is flat.
I need saved, Neil. Come and save me.
I first said, who's B.O.B.?
If there's any compassion and humanity in you, Neil, this is a plea, right, from an obviously confused man, apparently. Please come and save me. Please. Never mind B.O.B. the multimillionaire. Right? Come and save the poor little man.
Oh, it's a rap star. Okay. These are people who follow me and B.O.B. in the Twitterverse. So what does that Venn diagram look like? How much overlap is there in the two Venn diagrams? In this slice, however narrow, they were pleading to me to do something. And so I responded with a video letter. Just kind of putting him in his place. I think it's important to combat people who are claiming that they are using math, science, evidence, and physics behind their cause, when in fact they either aren't.
There's no cause, Neil, from people like myself. Physics, physicality will demonstrate anything you like, Neil. Again, you cannot. Your concept is just that, a concept. It exists only on paper and in the imaginations of the bewildered. Brought on by the perpetuation of an iconic image through a TV screen, Neil. You are the head of a cult. You don't represent objectivity in any way, shape or form. You're a delusional guy who looks up at intangible phenomena above your head and makes up utter shite about it. And tries to utilise that as some sort of, quantification or demonstration of a globular earth. It's red herring, fallacious nonsense. It's so boring, Neil. So is this why you want to go for B.O.B.s and people like that? Come to people who have been in the depths of it for over 5 years now. Come and speak to people like myself. As I said, I'm willing to be saved. I'm open to it. If I'm wrong and objective reality is lying to me, I will accept that, Neil.
It badly. That needs to be called out. Otherwise, if you just have a belief system, I don't really care. We live in a country that protects free speech, which usually also means free thought. You want to think Earth is flat? Go right ahead.
What about your education systems that are pushing it to students, and then when questioned, these students have absolutely no idea why they believe what they believe, Neil? You don't think that's a concern?
Influencing other people who have power over other people, and you have no foundation in objective reality, it can be dangerous.
Bold claims, Neil. I'm just going to reverse that right on you. Your cult lunacy is very dangerous. Look at the state of the place, Neil, because people think that they devolved from a fucking monkey fish squirrel entity. Right? For no rhyme or reason. Accident, utter stupidity, Neil. People these days don't even know how to wire a plug. Right? That's rooted in your idiotic cult pushing out an existential, shitty storyline.
If you influence people, or you yourself become someone who has influence over legislation, laws, rules by which we all abide in society, that's an unhealthy situation for civilization to be in. If your personal belief system
talks about civilization as if it's some sort of good thing, group of fucking morons trying to impose a structure and a system over the whole, like a bunch of fucking delirious, creepy cretins. Wind your neck in, Neil. Get down to earth, son, and come and speak to the real people. I'll put you right, Neil. I will save you from your cult lunacy. Right? So, there is no debate, Neil. You're very correct. We're talking about objectivity. We're talking about the natural sciences. Natural phenomena. Demonstrations to support the claims that are being made about our objective reality, Neil. That's real science. That's real exploration, Neil. No interested in your sophistry, your mathematical jargon, your red herring bullshit about looking up at intangible circles in the sky, or any of that crap.
which does not have correspondence in objective reality, starts becoming predominant in the thoughts and hearts and minds of civilization.
What he's talking about there is the globe Earth has no roots in objective reality whatsoever. And it is deeply rooted in the psyche and emotional attachment of the masses all over the pond, Neil. To their detriment, son. So, what he's just spewed there is a projection of the globe Earth and its crappy, nonsensical drivel and tactics that it utilises. And again, here we see right through you, Neil. Just trying to take ownership of real grassroots, how the real common man is perceiving and talking. I don't think you've got the cojones. You're just going to act like I'm too little. But I know you know I exist, son. Twat. That was that. So, very obvious. What's that sage? It's about pressure. Motion is dictated by pressure. but we still have the issue of direction, Sage. Still an issue of direction. What dictates direction? These are the questions that people just keep avoiding. Sidney, how are you doing? Paul E, Andrew Marshall, Sammy Shaw, Sarah Nelling, love the jumper. It's a Christmas number. I have unbelief I'm going to get to him right in a wee second here. Well, it's always been my suspicion, anybody that knows me, that my reasoning, my thinking from that time and even to this day was that this was going to be released somehow. But through that release, there was going to have to be a steering and controlling of the narrative, right? And, you know, the video I'm about to show of Sargent's latest appearance on mainstream kind of lends credence to that, for me anyway. Maybe it's just the way I'm interpreting it. I'll go through it and we'll have a wee look at it. Cheers, Sean. Be an inspiration to yourself, mate. As I say, this whole process is not about me. This whole process is about people understanding their own mind and how the language aspects and how this bullshit is put together. So if you've arrived at that, the credit's on you, right? Fair enough if, you know, I'm up there and I inspired you to be able to come out and talk about it. It doesn't really mean anything, but I appreciate the gesture and what it's meant. But, you know, anybody that's discerning for themselves, that's yours. And again, objective truth doesn't belong to anybody. It's not anybody's to be owned or hailed as the king or champion of objectivity. It's just about individual people coming to the realisation, having discussions with each other, assessing claims that are being made, and then laying out the demonstrations to support the claims. So, hello, flat earth female, you mad bastard. Black Swan, I've seen that coming up in my feed. This is another aspect. These groups are people who mimic, again, you know, turn everything into debate shows and chat shows, and then they come out with these proofsies as if they're the messiahs and the discoverers of these proofsies. People have been pointing these things out for years. On a globe, the horizon is a fixed point of reference. The geometry is a sphere with a fixed point of reference for a horizon. As you elevate up, the horizon cannot extend outwards to your level. It must remain fixed. As you elevate up, the angle that you perceive it would be increasing downwards. Should never extend beyond any point of said reference. That's been shown numerous amounts of times. Me and Dan showed it by using a tube and showing the horizon intersecting the tube at ground level, and then at elevation of a couple of 100 feet, the very same thing happening. So, you know, people run about championing these things and putting idols and messiahs up there as if, oh, they're the saviours of flat earth and globe destruction. There's many, many, many good, honest people who have showed these things before. So I don't know why everybody gets whipped up into a frenzy. That's what they want. They want you to worship them, idolise them, so they can sell you more mugs and t-shirts, super chats. So, Black Swan, it's nothing new. Fuck all new. Brian and Andy, I can only apologise. He's came to visit me last week and I had only nicked out for 15 minutes. It was just one of the things. It was somebody asked me to help him move a couch. So hopefully you guys can get back through soon. Again, I just want to apologise for it because it was on my part, my bad. Exactly, Natalie Kay. Ether, I know I've got my thoughts on Ether Sage. But it's the same as that, you know, you got all these experts sort of figured out magnetism and all this stuff and using ferrous. Oh, look, I can see wavy lines, therefore Earth's a toroidal field of stuff cheese and that. You're just seeing lines. Nobody's figuring out diddly squat. But Dale, do you underestimate the Black Swan argument? No, Rob. It's not an argument either. It's just a demonstration of what's happening in reality. But there's many, many others. And again, we're into the realms of visible phenomena. We're into the realms of the geometry of vision. Again, these things are never pointed out by these wee cliques and groups of people. It's like they don't really want to get to the nuts and bolts of it. Again, I'm going to highlight this for you. There's two worlds at play. There's the world that you move around in 3 dimensions, physicality, objects. Right? That geometry was established long ago. That's why we utilise Euclidean principles. That's the geometry. Earth measurement. Planar. Now, the world of looking at that world, not moving around in it, looking at it, is a world and a geometry of vision. Parallel lines never intersect. They remain parallel. Yet when you look at them, they appear to converge. What's happening? The geometry of reality is that we can go along the train tracks and we can quantify, we can measure the gappage being consistent for any given amount of distance. That's a different geometry, that's a different arena. Yet when we stand back and we look at it, it doesn't look like that. It doesn't look like it's a metre separation the whole way. It's starting to converge the further away it goes. So when these things are offered up, there's never a discussion about what's happening. Fair enough, as I've said before, you can highlight the inconsistencies and the obvious contradictions and flaws with the globular Earth claims, i.e. the horizon must be a fixed point of reference. Again, it's been highlighted numerous times by many, many people, but all of a sudden now it's hailed as the thing. Maybe it's just newbies, maybe that's what's happening. This is what happens, you know, people don't know the chronology, people don't know what's actually going on in the real history of this, and they come across these people and they latch onto them because people are still into idol worshipping. Oh, I don't need to think, so I'm going to place my representation upon this debate platform or whatever. And oh yeah, look, they scored points and I'm part of that. Oh yes, I a champion now. Oh. Get a grip. See these people for what they actually are. Good stationary plane. It's an inevitability. I seen an interview come up in my feed about a 102-year-old again. I don't know what it means. I've said it so many times. For me, the globular Earth is no thousands or 500 years old. If you went back 100 years and tried to tell people that bodies of water were bending and that the Earth was curving and there was people, you know, antipode to them standing upside down, feet to feet, they would have kicked you right in the fucking stones. The globular Earth took off when visual technology started to advance. Jacques, well, probably no. Would it be too conceited if I said yes? You missed a wonderful presentation. Sean, I'll get to emails once I get through these videos, mate. I'll check my emails if anybody wants to join me once I get through the next video. Well, this is it, FPV Angel. You know, for me, it's not about me. I've continually just focused on objectivity, the topic at hand, which is the question of the objective reality that we share. And I've continually focused on that, and that's it. But you see, as you've seen and many other people have seen, all they do is attack en masse, trying to, you know, tarnish your character as if that's got any relevance whatsoever. So I keep saying, I'm not here as a popularity contest. I'm not here to be liked and hailed as a fucking saviour or any of that stuff. You continually get these comments, oh, your channel's dying, your views are going down, you know that. And? Again, these people don't realise that they're projecting their true desire, that they're chasing fame and stature and stuff like that. So they project it onto you because they think that you place relevance on it. I couldn't give a fuck. Could not give a fuck. If I gave a fuck about that, I'd be on here trying to portray myself as windswept and interesting. Oh, look at me. I'm this, that, and the other. Anywho. Aye. Aye, all these wee common purpose antics as well. You know, the Harry McDonald one trying to copyright strike me for my content. Flat Earth Glasgow University Part 1. Pretty sure that was one of the early ones in Edinburgh. So I don't know how I combat that, but it was saying on that it's lifted in the 20th of May or something. I don't know. I can't even look through it to see what's going on. Aye, that's a bit. I noticed Polly, she remembers being taught the earth was flat and she remembers when it was changed. Andrew, they insist on explaining to you why or ask you to explain why and never ever demonstrate and show how. Forget the explanation of why. Exactly, mate. This is what people don't get. We don't need arguments and sophisticated language. We just need practical reference. We're talking about practical, actual reality. I know, never got on the telly. Of course they know it's flat pandemonium. They meet on the level and depart upon the level. Or the square, whatever. That's their very words. While they're on the level, they tickle each other's nipples. I seen that as well. Eat, the Philip Schofield thing was just a sham, but I don't know, I was never involved in it. So this is a problem when people make these types of things relevant in the public eye. That's suspicious in itself. I don't give a fuck. This is about this pretense, this bollocks, that you can only be a celebrity under the guise of this moral and ethical superiority, this nonsensical crap, right? And all you need to do is threaten a narcissist with some scandalous behaviour, and they'll fucking jump through hoops because they don't want to lose that. So maybe that's what happened to Philip, I don't know. But again, I couldn't give a fuck whose bum he wants to jab. It's of no relevance to me or interest to me whatsoever. Why is it news? Right, anyhow. That's this. Right. Where are we? Right, so on to Mr. Sargent's appearance. Again, every time I focus on any of this stuff, it's about the content, it's about what's being offered. But I'm pretty sure it'll just be, oh, you're a big troublemaker. You're just a big troublemaker. Attack the big bastard in the shed. Whatever. Stop fucking muddying the waters then. If you get the opportunity to be in mainstream TV, fucking grab the bull by the horns. Is that too much to expect? Or there's, oh, we have to, you don't have to pander to any fucker. And knowing TV, they're very cautious about who they're going to let own. So somebody like me wouldn't be pandering to them. I'd just be cutting them off every fucking 2 seconds. And highlighting their sophistry, their fallacious nonsense, as I'm about to do right now. So it seems selective. Why are you flying a guy? Why is a guy flying from America to come to the UK, to appear on UK TV and be wheeled out as the godfather of flat earth, ice wall dome, pizza dish? So anyhow, are we going to do this? Let's have a look, shall we?
Now then, most of us have spent our entire lives thinking that the Earth...
See, this again, I just want to highlight this quick. Flat Earther tries to convert. It's not about converting people either. This isn't a cult, this isn't a religion. This is about being able to identify fallacious reasoning, fallacious logic, fallacious claims, and being brutally honest and highlighting it every time it rears its deceptive, ugly little face. So it's not about converting people into a way of thinking or an ideology or any of that stuff.
Looks like this. But you can forget about that because...
Oh, the Earth looks like this. It looks like a fucking blown up ball. A fucking beach ball. Because that's the only representation you will ever get. That is the only reference of practicality you will ever get. A false equivalence, a fucking plastic or rubber or wooden demonstration of a concept. No, a scaled version of the actual claim, demonstrating its function. No. A beach ball. So we've all seen beach balls all our lives, therefore, we must live on a beach ball.
The Earth, in fact. Well done, nicely cool. Looks like this. This is what it is. It's flat. And it has a, just like Game of Thrones, it has a...
Just like Game of Thrones. So again, here we go. This is like muddying the waters. There's absolutely no need for you to offer any of that stuff up. It's just fuel. You don't need to represent any of that stuff. Because if you're a realist and you're a real person, you understand you were born in captivity. You understand that you have not had the ability to explore the full dimensions, the perimeters of where we actually are. So to make claims like this and make wee fucking plates and stuff out it and then appear on mainstream with it is very disingenuous. Highly suspicious. The globe Earth is a claim that we were born into. The globe Earth is being dismantled. Then we have to apply a real scientific inquiry, that being exploration of our objective shared reality, so that we can piece together and establish what it actually is, and not have some fucking wonky cartoon representation of what somebody claims it is.
Yeah, a big ice wall surrounding it.
Mark Sargent is one of the leading voices in the Flat Earth movement, and he believes it's time that we all...
See how they classify it, leading voices in the Flat Earth, blah, 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 creating a hierarchy, making it out that it's a system with structure, and we've got representatives on a higher echelon and other representatives and all that crap. But in Martin say, excuse me, I'm not any idol. I'm just here to talk about objective facts.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
up and realise that we actually are living on a flat disc.
Well, Mark joins us now.
Flat disc, fucking hell. Do you really believe that, Mark, that you're living on a flat disc? Because if you don't, why did you not just butt in and say, hey, Holly, I need to correct you there. Again, this, I have to pander. I need to be nice. I need to be non-confrontational. Fuck off. Get her told. Put her in her place.
Good morning, Mark.
Welcome.
I mean, obviously, there are thousands of questions,
Yes.
which I'm sure you've been asked 1,000 times.
A few, yes.
Yeah. So, we believed for many years that the Earth was flat, and then science comes along, and discovery comes along.
Right.
See, there's another opportunity. We believed, you'll know we, Philip. You were born into the globe cult, Philip. And then science comes along. Mark should be butting in. What do you mean by science, Philip? Let's define the terms here. What exact science are we talking about? No, I highly doubt any of that's going to happen, no.
And we think, right, okay, now we can see that it's actually round.
Sure.
We've seen that it's round.
Sure.
So,
Sure, we can see that it's round. No, we, Philip. The only place you've seen the Earth presented as a globe is on your TV screen. Again, why is Mark Sargent no highlighting that? It's no scientific. It's not even logical. It's not even rational. It's insanity.
how come it's not?
It's not because we can't prove it's a globe. Everything that we've, in fact, it starts out with everybody that's in the flat Earth community starts out looking at the globe saying, can you prove it? Mm-hmm. Can you prove the globe, especially without using NASA? Because it's not that we found...
Now, to be fair, that is a better approach. Again, starting from the premise that you're questioning the validity of the globular claim. But that would be more potent and more clear if Mark never showed up with fucking cartoon, you know, placeholders and fucking whatever other trinkets he has.
Found out that the world was a globe back in 1972. We knew for 5 centuries. So that's how everyone starts. You try to prove it in a court of law.
I flew in Concorde, and I was lucky enough to fly in Concorde, and you get up to 65,000 feet, and I could see the curvature of the Earth. That was proof to me. How come that wasn't true?
And
I see something there for proofsies. Call him out on it, tell him he's a fucking moron.
yet I could show you weather balloon
You're
footage.
too hostile, you can't do that. You've got to be more tactile. You've got to deal with snowflakeism. And you need to soften it, and you need to be passive and be... Fuck off. Philip, you're an absolute prick, son. You stick to jabbing your cock into bums. Right? You never seen curve of the earth. And anyhow, that's no quantifiable, Philip. You seen something there for Earth's globe. What a twat. Tell him, Mark. Tell him.
Footage from 120,000 feet, and it's absolutely tabletop flat. And Neil deGrasse Tyson, the world's most famous scientist, no offense to Brian Cox, he'll come out and tell you, no civilian will ever be able to see the curvature of the Earth. Because
So is he lying?
no, I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm saying that you wanted to see the curvature. There's a big difference.
But don't you want to believe that it's...
It's not even that you wanted to see the curve. How do you know what you wanted to see the curve? It's not that you wanted. Maybe you just thought he did. Maybe he's looking through curved eyes and curved windows. Maybe there was an effect happening. Who knows?
Flat. You have
No.
more proof. I have more proof than you do.
Shows it.
I would challenge that.
Well, I've got footage here that's direct from the space station.
Oh, so
And
we're back to it. We're back to this again. Oh, look what I see on my TV screen. Scientifical proofsies. Right, I seen it in the telly. End of. Brilliant. I've seen guys fucking levitating on the telly, Philip. Therefore, you should start believing in levitation and that people can fly. In fact, I can see people fucking morphing into all sorts on the telly. Therefore, it's all real. Again, Mark, you know, why not be potent with that and highlight the idiocy, the fallacious reasoning that has been applied and offered up to you here? Why no? Hammer it.
That's live pictures from the space station now.
Right.
That's all a lie.
Again, it started from the American military. Yes, absolutely. I'm saying it's worse than
So what is that then? What am I looking at if I'm not
It's
looking?
simple. It's just simple. Just offer a question back to them. Is what you see on your TV screen quantifiable demonstration? Is it scientific in any way, shape or form? Is it reasonable? Is it rational? Is it logical? No, it fucking well is not. Sample.
Get live pictures.
You're looking at CGI, nothing more. Something that started out very simple back in the 1950s and advanced till today.
So I'm a bit of a space nut.
Sure. Sorry.
And so no. I mean, I'm very happy with that.
Right.
And I've got the app on my phone, which has got where the space station is right now. And I have in the past looked at those live pictures.
Yes.
And I have seen where the space.
Cough. If I've been disconnected. Probably. Looks as if I've been disconnected. Oh, I'm still live. Why is that happening? It's showing me on my screen that I'm not live. I'm just getting a spinning circle. I can't play the video. Oh, there it's come back now. Right, hang on. Let me see. Oh, it's doing it again. Where was that video? 2 minutes and 39. Hang on. Refresh. It's not working. But you guys can still see me. What the fuck's going on? You just need to bear with me here because the video's buffering. If I try and load something else up, is it buffering as well? Right, you can hear me. Right, wait a minute. This video is just not playing game. Hold on. Look. If you can see that. Try and refresh again. If I'm still live, I'm just going to need to wait a wee minute until this sorts itself out. I'm still not being able to load anything. I'm rebooting the pages. I'm rebooting, nothing's happening. Hi mate, I'm still running off that thing. But it never usually does this. Don't get it. Right, if I shut that down, the OBS will still be running, so just bear with me. I'm going to shut everything down on that. And I'm going to bring it back up again, see what happens. Right, we're getting YouTube. Hang on a minute, watch page. Right, that's working now. Right, so that's fine. No, now it's back buffering again. Hang on. History. Right, so we're there 2 minutes 39, 2 minutes 38, right, fine, we're back. Right, I'll just continue on where I was. Let me see.
I have seen where the space station is and thought, right, it's coming over me now. And so I have watched the space station. You can see it as that light. It doesn't blink, doesn't flash, goes over as a solid light. And at the same time...
Oh, I Philip's seen a light going 17,500 fucking miles an hour. Philip's seen a light that's apparently 220 miles away, going 17,500 miles an hour. Philip sees it. Philip sees stuff in the sky. Philip sees stuff on the TV screen, therefore...
I've looked at my laptop and I've seen where I am.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying there's something up there. No question. Is there a vehicle that could be the ISS up there? Yeah.
What are we talking about ISS for? Cut them off again, Mark. I wish you would learn. What relevance has this got to establishing the shape of the Earth, Philip? That's not a scientific inquiry. Looking at stuff on TV screens, looking up at the sky, seeing lights. It's irrelevant. Totally irrelevant.
Are there people inside it? No, not a chance. And you can look at the interior footage, the production value is horrible. I challenge anybody. We've got...
I've interviewed...
Because they're not even trying. When they show you their fucking fake crap, they're not even trying. I don't know why anybody still looks at that stuff and thinks it's actual real. Because it is pathetic.
Both of us, we've interviewed Tim Peake from this sofa.
I know. And
so what was I doing? Who was I talking to? Where was he?
You were talking...
Oh, more emotional appeals by Holly Willoughby. I spoke to somebody, so what was you doing? Oh. See, these are all suggested emotive, influences. Trying to sway the gullibles by playing on emotional thought processes. But I spoke to somebody who said so. And? That's not an individual discerning for himself, standing firm on an objective inquiry. Fuck your hearsay. I couldn't give a fuck who you spoke to. Now here's your fucking claim. Now where's the curvature? Where's the demonstrations of these substances and these idiotic lunacy behaviours that you're professing they can behave like? Let's get to that. I don't give a fuck about your emotional crap. Couldn't care less.
To a military officer, nothing more. I talked to Terry Virts, American astronaut, and look, they're all, again, remember, everybody that goes...
Oh, there's Holly with a patronising smile. Look at this nutter. That's the message I'm trying to give off.
They're high-ranking military. They start out at colonel...
Why would he bother?
Why would you bother faking it?
Yeah, why? What's the point of faking it?
Well, that's...
No relevance whatsoever, Holly. Wallaby again, Mark. Please learn. No relevance whatsoever. The question is being asked, where is the fucking curve of the Earth? Where are the quantifications, the demonstrations of these claims that are being made?
The bigger questions, which is why keep this thing a secret? And we're talking about...
No, but why fake it?
Because if you don't fake it, eventually the private industry is going to get involved.
I don't know why somebody murdered that other person, therefore they never really murdered them. It's just an illusion in my brain because I have no reasons why they did it or why they would do it. I have no reasons for why somebody would tell lies, therefore nobody tells lies. That's Holly's fucking logic. That's her ability to reason internally. That's Holly for you.
Involved, and then they're going to find out on their own. This is
why that would be bad, because
if you don't keep this thing a secret. Remember, we're talking about something that was discovered back in...
This for me is where it gets a wee bit interesting. No, we're talking real, right? Because the psychological and emotional state of the masses and how they would maybe deal with the true reality of where they actually are would be a concern, because human beings have got a tendency to panic and overreact. So for me here, we're getting to a wee bit of the nuts and bolts.
1960. The public wasn't ready in 1960. They just weren't. Their potential...
Very affirmed statement, Mark. I agree. Where are you getting that affirmation? Where are you getting the confidence to state that, Mark? Because in 1960 they wouldn't have been ready. Maybe they would have. Whose decision was that to make in the first place?
Academically, economically, religiously, chaos, potentially. Yep. But so they weren't going to take that.
And here we're getting to it, people. This for me is why the unravelling of this has to be controlled, because as I stated before, people are irrational. There are so many, what's the word? The butterfly effect type scenarios that can happen, just as he stated here, which is very correct. Political and religious, implications and how people would react would be absolutely phenomenal. There may very well be widespread panic, which for me is why you have to drip feed. You have to slowly start to release and control where you want it to end up.
That chance.
So pilots are involved in this.
No, not at all. No.
So again, what you see is that something's been stated to them, and that's a couple of times now where Mark's stated a few things to Philip. And rather than Philip displaying some integrity and intellectual honesty and acknowledging it, and speaking up to what he's stated previously and accepting the flaw in his own thinking and reasoning, they just shift on to something else. So these are the types of discussions that you see happening quite a lot in societies. Everyday life, your interactions with people. People refuse to acknowledge and take responsibility for the projections and the things that they're offering up.
Pilots, scientists, none of those people. I have astrophysicists, Brian Cox. None of them have anything to do with it.
Okay, so.
I beg to differ. I've got plenty to do with it. Because as I said, you can offer up objective, demonstrable facts to these people and they just ignore them. And they just keep waffling on about fucking solar systems and fucking intangible phenomena above them. Brian Cox and the likes. So there's dishonesty, at least, from these people for whatever motivation, whatever reason.
People,
right?
Every NASA scientist, everyone who's scientist, everyone who's ever been involved in at any stage in any space program, whether it's industry that launches satellites, the various people.
Let's get it right, Philip, because I know Mark's not going to correct you, although I don't think so. I can't remember, but all this stuff that you're listing as if it's a huge long list of people. How many people have actually claimed to be at the vantage point of space and seeing the Earth as a whole, Philip? Because that's hugely different from the way you're trying to make it out here, son. Because it's very few in comparison to the populace. Very, very few. Minute.
People that launched those satellites, right. Everyone that's ever worked on the space shuttle or the Apollo.
What's any of that go to do again? This is a problem. Why is Mark not cutting in and highlighting Philip? He's diversion tactics. Let's get back on point here, Philip. Why are you waffling about a lot of crap? Where is the science to demonstrate the absurdity of the globular Earth claims? That's what the focus should be on. Philip's just diverting.
Graham, right. They're all
it's
pointless.
No. I mean, jobs are created and it's compartmentalization. I mean, it's no different. Look, generals know the battle plans, but most of the officers below them.
Were the Apollo, those massive Apollo?
We've been to the moon, right?
Were those Apollo rockets that went up into the air?
See, no acknowledgement of what Mark just stated about compartmentalisation. It happens in every walk of life, from the family unit to the working unit to social interactions. There's constant compartmentalisation, but they don't acknowledge it. She just goes back to disbelief with a cheesy grin, emotively expressing, right? Because she doesn't know how to function as a rational being.
Did they go?
They didn't go anywhere. They just went off into the ocean and ditched. That was again, I'm an American. Look, we're taught, rah rah, go team, wave the flag, and so it's tough for me because I love the American space program.
So you flew in a straight line to get here.
I did fly in a straight line to get here. Yeah. Yes.
And you've got this. So we've got a dome over the top.
Yeah. So let me do this real quick. So the globe that you threw away. What we're talking about is we are all brought up, taught that we live on this tiny little rock that's covered in.
So obviously, I'm obviously stating the obvious here. How does Mark know there's a dome above us? He doesn't. So why is he fucking making the statement? Why is he agreeing to represent this? Very, very disturbing. Is this what they're going to try and push? Maybe it is true. I don't fucking know. Could be true. I'm not negating it for the sake of negating it. What I'm saying is that why would you make the affirmed statement or go along with the implied affirmation that that's what you represent? Why would you not stop them in their tracks and say, hang on a minute, why are you trying to straw man me here?
A little bit of water and smoke. We're flying through this impossible vacuum of space. We're saying that we live on a flat, enclosed world that is basically, you're basically living in a big soundstage with walls and a floor and a ceiling.
The Truman Show.
The Truman Show. Yeah, very, very, very similar. That it's so big that even our best and brightest didn't figure it out until about 1960. And when they
I
did,
agree, Mark, but I wouldn't say it was a dome. It's a construct. So it is some sort of stage. It's a technology, this thing that we're experiencing, this thing that we call life. So I agree on that part, but I don't agree that there's a fucking ice wall and a dome.
decided to keep it a secret. The really, really short version is you don't live on a globe. This is what it looks like on the outside. That's what it looks like on the inside. There you go.
So why don't we just fall off the edge?
For the same reason, the space asteroid question. Yeah. So for the same reason why you don't fall off the edge here. Antarctica is the only continent that doesn't look like anything else. All the other continents in here look perfectly fine. Antarctica, though, and it's not necessarily an ice wall, it's just Antarctica, this really, really, really high continent.
So you're saying Antarctica...
So it's a high continent, but you've represented it as a surrounding wall. How did you establish that?
It's all the way around.
Yep.
So where's the North Pole?
North Pole's in the center. North Pole's in the center, South Pole doesn't exist. Compasses don't work down in Antarctica. Most people don't talk about that. The Antarctic Treaty says that no corporation in the history of the world can set up shop down there forever.
What's outside?
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, because it could be
no clue.
Well, I mean, if you can't get outside, you're not going to know for sure. But I mean, I don't think
What's outside or what's beyond the parameters or the perimeters that we know about might be something reason for telling lies in the first place. Again, I want to offer that up to people. There may be reasoning for why it was pushed in the first place because of a situation like that and how we would maybe deal with it. What is beyond? What else is out there? Because human beings have been so refined into a wee box, a false certainty, where they have a false narrative of what they think the world is and their place within it.
my personal opinion is this isn't a one-off. There's not just one of these. There's more.
So we've got a picture of what you think what it's.
Oh yeah. That was made by one of our people.
One of our people. What peoples? Who? Does that wee bit got a dome in it? What about that bit there? Has that got a dome in it as well? Has that got a dome? If it's just this bit in the middle, it's got a dome. Yeah? Do you think maybe that's just a visual representation of an imaginary border, maybe, Mark? Maybe there isn't really a boundary.
It's a great option.
Have they been there? Have they seen that?
No, of course not.
Okay.
So
There's
are
a
they
hole in the
just
wall there.
making
There's
it
a hole.
up?
No.
There's a hole in the wall.
Aye, exactly. They've just exposed it right there and then. Have you seen it? How do you know? No. So Holly right away. Are you just making that up then? Exactly.
Yeah.
So can you go through that and to go to the other places?
Again, Flat Earth opens the minds of people. Most of the Flat Earthers will stick with something like this. But, other Flat Earthers, I'm not going to knock them. It opens minds.
Okay, but amongst your people,
Yes.
amongst your flat earthers,
Yeah.
you argue...
See, here's the division. Your people, blah, 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 setting up the dichotomy, us and them, rubbish. Because it was never established right from the off when he brought up science, where Mark should have stepped in and laid out objective inquiry. There is no sides, there is no dichotomy. Something is or it isn't. Very simple.
You amongst yourselves as well.
Like the
And
Scottish
actually,
Highlands, we argue.
You have been
Like the
accused...
Scottish Highlands, we argue. Here we go, a bit of xenophobia. Let's start fucking pounding on Scottish people. Is that directed at people like myself, Mark, by any chance? Huh? Yeah, am I argumentative type? No, I'm just somebody that doesn't take any of your fucking bullshit. And the same as a majority of Scottish people, Mark. We just don't suffer bullshit.
Yourself as being sort of a member, I think, of Warner Brothers or something. You're making this up.
Government agent. Yeah.
So, aren't you just all turning on yourselves? Like, you can't believe anything.
No.
So this is the narratives that have been offered. Obviously, there's tabs being kept. And, there is a lot of that. Because, again, what I want to highlight to people is that there is no book to how you deal with this thing. No, for me. And I get involved in this, you've got to be sceptical, you've got to be cynical, deeply suspicious of everybody and anything, right? Until I analyse it and I have time to see how it progresses so that I can understand the walk of people. As I said, I've been one of these people who's been vocal in things that I disagree with, but keeping it objective. Because for me, as soon as we start getting into the subjective arenas of passing judgment and, you know, I don't like him just cause, and throwing names about and blah, blah, blah. When people are making claims that they can't substantiate or even step up to the table and have a discussion about it, I have got suspicions of them, and so should you.
It's not even your own.
At the end of the day, again, like the Scottish Highlands, no offence, but, you know, they can all agree on one thing.
Well, like the Scottish Highlands, no offence. What are you talking about Scottish for? What's that about, Mark? What are you trying to say?
They hate the English. That's the same sort of
Oh,
thing
there's
here.
another big divide, and they just sat there nodding their head. We hate the English, we hate the English. I don't fucking hate anybody. Just because they come from a different patch of earth. Oh, they live on that bit of dirt over there, therefore I fucking hate them. Nice one, Mark. Nice one.
We disagree on so many of the finer points here.
Like I disagree right now on how you conduct yourself and allow these fuckstains to portray a very important inquiry, Mark. Don't take it personal. Don't think I'm attacking you on a personal level with hate and all that stuff. I'm attacking the content that you're offering me. Let's get it clear.
But at the end of the day, we all agree on one thing. That is not a globe. And you can absolutely, you can hammer on the globe. Everybody starts out hating flat Earth, and everybody tears down.
Exactly. So why then do you need to represent some straw man nonsense then? Knowing fine well that it puts you in a position of vulnerability to anybody who is opening themselves up to inquiring about it. Because the first thing they're going to see is this guy claims there's a fucking dome and an ice wall and all that. So immediately their attention is going to be drawn and torn between two false concepts. There is absolutely no requirement for you to offer up a dummy tit to anybody. That's lies, bullshit, end of story. Now we need an investigation into establishing what it actually is. Why is that so difficult?
Themselves. That's why we have a 99% retention rate.
Do you not believe any proof in anything?
No, I believe in proof in things.
Okay.
But
in which case, I've got to ask you.
Sure.
That we obviously, those of us who believe that the Earth is round.
Right.
There are lots and lots of things that would help us to convince ourselves that the Earth is indeed round.
Yes, but what you need to do is analyse those things and how they've been used as tools to make you convince yourself that you live on an absurdity, Philip. That's the problem with people. They don't put their attention to it, right? Because they're too lazy and apathetic to actually understand the reasoning processes, what it is they're actually taking on board and why they're committing to a belief in it. That's where the problem is, Philip. But you're just acting on the surface of emotional sway. By saying these things, you're triggering it in the onlooker because they operate from the same level that you're operating. I see a circle. A man 2,000 years ago with sticks said so. Such and such said so.
by the way,
The globe. Yeah.
I mean, technically, this is round.
Okay. And flat. And so, what proof do you have?
Got it.
No one has ever been there.
Got it.
No one has ever taken any pictures of the ice wall that surrounds us.
Exactly.
So no one can get anywhere near. Why can't we go there? Why can't?
So here we go. This is where he's now focusing on, which again weakens Mark and weakens the Inquirer, because it's been highlighted that Mark's standing by these affirmed claims, these cartoon maps and models, and he's highlighting that you've never been there, you've never seen it, so therefore, what have you got? That's exactly the point I've been making for all this time. That's deliberate.
Oh, the Antarctic Treaty. And you can go there. If you want to spend, I think it's like 12,000 pounds, you can go to the edge, one of the peninsulas, and get your picture taken with penguins.
No, I want to see the wall.
Well, I mean, the wall itself just extends for a long... you can get to the Antarctic coastline. That's not a problem.
Yeah. I want to go to the wall.
Boy, you're going to go all the way...
Turning the focus on this straw man. The focus should be placed back at their feet. The globe is bullshit. There is nothing to support a globe. Focus on that.
And here, no, the Antarctic Treaty forbids it. You cannot go there. It's locked down. It's the only unbroken treaty in the history of treaties.
How do you know
every
that?
country in the
Oh
world.
no, it's not secret information. None of this stuff is secret information.
But where are you getting that information?
What, the Antarctic Treaty? It's public domain. I mean, it's a PDF. In fact, I gave it to your producer.
But the
It's on
Antarctic
Flash.
Treaty is about limiting the stripping of resources.
It's all corporations.
So again, these are meant to be objective inquirers. These two, they're representing inquiry and investigation. So you've got Holly that's not got a fucking clue, and all of a sudden Philip's piping up. He knows about the Antarctic Treaty. So what's going on there? Is Philip being fed these lines, or did Philip actually look at it himself? Because I've heard from people who have a direct experience of going on these shows that they're reading from teleprompters. Even the emotive expressions that they offer up are told to them through the teleprompter off camera.
Every corporation in the world, no one can set up shop there. And it's also the only piece of real estate in the world that's not owned by anybody. A little strange, since we're fighting over real estate all the time. But no, I mean, stripping of resources, when a treaty was built in 1959, environmentalism wasn't even a word back then.
Do we communicate with anyone out there? Is there any trade between the two places?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you that. To your proof questions, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time left. Sorry, let me give you the 5 bullet points that I gave Georgetown physicist, and he folded like a card table almost immediately. I put this challenge out to Brian Cox, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Michio Kaku, any of these guys. First one would be long-distance photography. Curvature of the Earth is 8 inches per mile squared. We eventually
We'll put an investigation into optical phenomena and how camera lenses and how we perceive the world, which is a separate geometry, to the actual world that we move around in. No mention of water, no mention of physical substances that can be demonstrated. Guarantee you, he's not going to mention any of these things.
Not be able to see over the hill. We should be a hill. It should be gone. HD technology has changed that. Now we can see things way, way further. There's some wonderful work being done by Nathan Oakley and some UK teams where they're actually...
Oh, there we go. Part of the Common Purpose crew offered up yet again. Part of the Hugsy, we're all united and all that stuff. As I said at the beginning of this, many people for years have been pointing at these things, stating the obvious. But all of a sudden now, we've got a wee championing of the inner circle here.
Seeing a horizon behind oil platforms at 10, 15, 20 miles.
Wasn't even work done by Nathan Oakley or any of the gimps. They've not got off their arse and done anything. Wasn't their footage? They have done diddly squat.
Gravity versus the vacuum of space. Gravity's holding things down, right? That's gravity, no problem, right? You make the upper part of this a vacuum chamber, you pull a cork, everything's going to rush upstairs. Well, why, when you go outside, why isn't the air outside rushing into space?
Where did you get that, Mark? I guarantee it wasn't from Nathan Oakley either. Huh? Where's people like mine? Where do we get credits, Mark? When does your names get mentioned, Mark? Oh, that's right, we're no part of the inner circle. We're no part of the Kumbaya Common Purpose. That's right, forgot. Sorry.
You can't. The atmosphere. Why doesn't it go into space? Can't say gravity anymore because gravity didn't hold the air in this room for that little test. Third, the moon eclipse is too small. The moon eclipse is 70 miles wide and the moon is 2,000 miles wide. We never see that in nature. The moon eclipse we say the moon is about 70 miles wide. Fourth would be the moon temperature. That's a spooky one. I didn't even know that till about...
Oh, rubbish. Oh, weak crap here. Total weak bollocks.
2 years in, which is the moon generates a cold light, which is warmer in the moon shade than it is in the moonlight. If you magnify moonlight, it gets even colder.
What the fuck's the moon? Or any of that go today with the claims of a globular earth? Fuck all!
It's generating a cold laser light. It doesn't even make sense. And the last question, which is the Van Allen radiation trap question, which is, are the Van Allen radiation traps deadly? Yes or no? If they are deadly, then how the Americans get past it with no shielding whatsoever? Remember, the only thing that can stop radiation is gold, lead, and a whole bunch of water.
All that stuff is going to offer up is endless argumentation. Backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. We did go to no you didn't. We didn't. Again, we're a wee off the actual topic, which is what is the dimensions of the earth beneath our feet.
They went with aluminum and plastic. Nobody died. Nobody got radiation poisoning. Nobody even got cancer. There's still 5 of them walking around today. If you say yes, then why does NASA have this wonderful video, Ryan Trial by Fire, saying, oh yeah, we can't send any capsules into space because we haven't solved the radiation problem yet?
Well, maybe that's because you've got to go closer when you go to Mars and it takes longer and there's more exposure, perhaps? I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, well...
Total word salad there by Philip.
Maybe.
He says we.
Well, no, I'm not going to
NASA
shoot it
say-
down. That's a
No.
better answer than I've gotten from a lot of people. Sorry.
NASA say we've known.
Wasn't it? It was fucking word salad. Again, why are you pacifying these people and enabling them? Mark, what is your problem?
The Earth is around for more than 2,000 years. The Earth is not a perfect sphere because the force caused by the Earth's rotation, north and south poles are slightly flat, Earth's rotation, wobbly motion, and other.
Well, the spin's enough to squash the Earth, but it's not enough to make all the water go to the equator. Brilliant. So the spin of the Earth can compress and squash rock and metals and all sorts of stuff to make it an oblate spheroid, but the water doesn't collect at the equator. Fucking brilliant.
Forces are making the planet change shape very slowly, but it is still round. And that's NASA, but you say that they're in on it.
Yeah.
I say, listen, you know, of all
This is very interesting. Is this where we're starting to go again?
the things that are going on in the world, of
Oh, let's play it down of all the things that are going on in the world.
everything that's happening, I think we'd all probably cope if someone said, actually, it looks like this.
I think we would
Oh,
too.
okay, all right,
And
fine.
I absolutely agree with you, which is why.
Maybe now because it's been drip fed and you're constantly putting it on mainstream media through time, right? Bringing it into the minds, the conscious minds of the people, rather than it being subliminal, bringing it into their conscious mind so that they become easier to accept it. Because again, if I'm keeping people hostage, if I'm a ruler and I've got them captive, and they start discussing the aspects of the perimeters of where I've told them I have them, then I certainly ain't going to allow it to be appearing on the mainstream TV by further, bringing it into their conscious mind and triggering an inquiry from any individual. I would just suppress it and not allow it to be heard anywhere. But we continually see it appearing on mainstream media. Why? Ask the questions.
I think it's being let out. I'm not doing it.
Stop spending all the
Oh,
money.
Mark thinks it's been let out. Aye. So they are, Mark. Well, I think there's a wee plan to deceive us again into another false narrative.
On CGI and
I agree.
space products and
Yes, you
problem
are.
in the world,
Yeah.
of everything that's happening, I think we'd all probably cope if someone said, actually, it looks like this.
I think we would
Oh,
too.
okay, all right,
And
fine.
I absolutely agree with you, which is why I think it's being let out. I'm not doing it.
Stop spending all the money on CGI and
I agree.
space products and
Exactly. See, he's even admitted it. Stop spending it on CGI and space products.
projects, and let's build some more hospitals.
Absolutely. I
think-
Oh, let's build some more hospitals where we can fleece people, make them ill and perpetuate an industry and grow the industry and make more money off it. Well, we keep everybody under the wee dome, right? And in the ice wall. Well, we stay here and fuck all changes, apart from we now think we're under a dome and we can't get out, as opposed to we're on the exterior of a potato rock zipping through the vacuum. But fuck it, as long as we maintain the structure we have and we keep people chasing their tails for nothing and being proud slaves, that's all good. Wonderful.
We can all cope with it.
I agree. 1960, I don't think we were ready. 2020, I think we are.
Let's go there
Yeah.
and see what's like on the other side. There
Well,
might be nicer places to be. It could be a good holiday destination.
Well,
I'm with you.
Yeah,
We could put
that's
it on
it.
the spin to win.
I think we're ready to know. Tell us.
Thank you. Thank
you.
you. Fascinating.
Aye, I think we're ready to know, but they're not going to tell us the fucking truth. That's for sure. They'll tell us some skewed version, some half-truth. Yeah, so that's Ellen Eileen. Oh, we're under the dome in the ice wall, and God says this, that, and the other. God says you have to be a slave and be proud and tell your children you have to be a worker. Your whole sole purpose in life is to get up out your bed every morning and be miserable. Your soul sinking out your guts and go and partake in a dead-end, meaningless, shitty job and be proud. What's your contribution? I contribute, I work, I'm a proud slave. Fucking brilliant. patronising fucker. Again. So, anywho. Oops. Wrong button. Right. So if you want to join me for a wee while, oh Sean, you are asking for a link. Right, let me see here. Got a request from Sean to join, so I'm just waiting for the Google Hangouts to open. Taking its time. Oh, aye, that's that. That's everybody else's thoughts on what's been happening. That's the Hellcats. It could just be that as well. You know, I continue bringing it to light so that they can pound on, you know, the cartoonery, the ice wall and dome stuff. You know, because they know that there's real people like us out there that are making a noise and continually want to speak about it. So everybody knows, what do you get? What are you met with when you start trying to have a discussion about this? You find yourself having to wade through endless amounts of crap, right? About ice walls and domes and fucking all this other fantasy before you can get to the meat of it, which is, it's not a globe. Aye, Christmas present jumper. Des, how you doing, mate? Steve HV, how you doing? Nah, Dorian, I disagree. At least it's been covered on TV. I'm very suspicious of it. It's particularly when we see the same characters over and over again, and we keep getting ice walls and domes and all that stuff. Something's just not right. I claim no religion. What's the occult tattoos? They're no occult. They're no hidden. They're no hidden. What has tattoos got to do with being religious? Nah, it's still quite warm. West Coast Wisdom, how you doing? Oh, the bridge building, I'll get to that. Maybe I'll cover that tomorrow night, actually. Eyes wide shut, how you doing? Exactly, that's it, beyond belief. It's limitation. You know, you're isolated and limited to how far or where you can move, you're restricted. It's the message with these types of finite models that they've got. As I say, I'm not negating it totally. It could very well be the case. You know, for me, something contains the gas, the air, you know, but to jump to that and say it's a dome that comes down to the earth and all that, that's just not on. Well, you must be religious, Steve HV, apparently, because you've got tattoos and they're a cult. Occult tattoos. Nobody owns anything like symbols and images. People can take them for whatever reasons and purposes they want. Again, this is just part of the deflection. This is the same old tired crap on here. They don't focus on your content. They've got nothing to offer in your content. It's just slander, making claims. And then when you go to them and say, okay, right, I've heard your statement or your claim. Now I'm asking you to substantiate it. Let's have a discussion about it. And they just ignore it. Then you're dealing with dishonesty, liars, people who really have got a snidey, underhanded agenda. Because I'm scared of nothing. You can make claims and statements to me all you fucking like, but at the very least you can do is have the decency to engage in the discussion about it, of what its relevance is, how you're going to support the claims you're making. Sean had to install Hangout, so they've sent a link. I'll send it again. Oh, where'd it go? If you hear this, Sean, click that second one that I've sent you. Well, containment for gas pressure, that's what I've just said. You know, listening. Why have I got to keep repeating myself? Something would be containing it, particularly if there's a claim that we exist within a different medium. Right? That's where the focus is on that claim. Somebody says the Earth is surrounded by a different medium, then there would have to be some sort of separation. But that doesn't then automatically lend credence to a dome with an ice wall. How do people get that connection? That's what should be questioned. Dragmatic, how you doing, mate? Exactly, creation cat. It's just all fucking nuts. The same crap on here. They just try and weaken and attack you by utter crap. You know? It's like showing up to a discussion about, you know, fishing and establishing, you know, some facts about fishing. And you get there and you go, aye, that's a brown trout. How do you know it's a brown trout? Look at your tattoos. Your tattoos are suspicious. Therefore, that's not a brown trout. I mean, it's just constant. It's so fucking boringly obvious. I'm alright, mate. I'm alright. I've sent Sean the link. Forest Chops and Shelley, why have you got makeup on? You're satanic. Never mind the objective inquiry about the shape of the earth. Why have you got fucking makeup and long hair? If you've got long hair. Why? You're a cult, satanic, Freemasons. Oh. Oops.
Yeah.
I can hear you. How's it going, mate?
Dude,
Aye.
you hear me, aye?
I can hear you fine.
How you doing, my man? I'm a patient boy myself.
Good stuff.
Aye, you stay right, you stay next to, I stay next to university, I want to try and fucking, help you through with this a bit, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, get the word out.
Well, I just represent it, mate.
But see, I used to stay in Ramsgate, right, and I could see Belgium flat, right, and that was 30 miles, and I could see it flat, the base, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So, that questioned me first, but what you say about the water and that got me. I've been watching you for 5 years and fucking I think you're brilliant and you speak the truth. You're very highly intelligent. You've got me. You've took the shackles off me, basically.
Good, mate. Well, you done it yourself. It
You
wasn't
know what I'm
me.
saying?
I never done anything, mate. You done that yourself. You obviously had the ability to think for yourself, so, you know.
Aye, but I followed you 5 years. I followed you 5 years. I've been following you, and I just know, man. Fucking, it's all bullshit, man. This fucking global shit. I'm telling you, it's fucking bullshit.
Yeah, exactly.
I just don't see why the big lie.
Well, that's what we need to find
It's a
out.
big lie about global power.
Aye. There's many reasons. Many reasons you can offer
Aye,
up.
no, I've been trying to get a holiday here.
I'm not hard to get, mate. I'm in short
But
routes.
near me, they're about full school field. These fuck already do it. Let him get his chocolate chimney. Fucking. But no, fucking. If you're doing interviews and that, man, I'd be willing to help.
Nah, no worries, mate. Cheers.
Can you hear me, Dale?
I can hear you.
Dale?
Aye.
No, I'm next to university anyway. I stay next to university. If you ever need that, I'll invent that. It's I try to tell my family about all this, but they're too old to fucking get this concept. You know what I'm talking about? They're too heliocentric.
Mm-hmm.
So they think I'm a crackpot. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh well, that's what people think,
Which
mate.
I'm not.
Aye, well that's it. You know, you're not defined by what other people think of you, so it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter.
can you hear me?
Aye. Sean, I'm going to cut it off because there's obviously an issue. Sean, I've cut it off because there's obviously an issue with the connection or something. You need to try and get a better connection so that we can actually talk. Hang on a minute, what's going on here? Flat Earth data. I'd like to join. Let's see. This is fucking... I don't know, Sean, if you can hear this as well, but there's obviously an issue with the connection because I'm just buffering constantly. Right, I don't even know if I'm still live. I'll just wait a wee minute and I'll send a link to Flat Earth data. Can you hear me? I don't know what's going on here. I'm going to have to shut all this down again. Still not playing. Right, I'm going to shut this, so I don't even know if I'm still live. It's saying I'm still streaming, but can't see anything. Can't see a fucking thing, so I'm going to have to wait until this comes back on. I've absolutely no idea if anybody can hear anything. You hear that? come back now. Right, let's see here. I'm still streaming. Cheers, Gene. It's just taking its time to do anything here. I don't get what's going on. Back to showing me the spinning fucking disc. I see a spinning circle on my TV, therefore I live on a spinning circle. She can still hear me. Back on. I'm just getting a spinning fucking... Hello? I'm just getting a buffering. Alright. Alright, okay. Well, I can't. I'm trying to send a link, so I'm totally blind to what's going on here. No. No, no worries. Cool. Alright, cheers for that. Cheers. I'm just getting a... Ah, you fucking idiot. Shit. Right, let me try now, because it seems to be working again. I know, fucking Hangouts is not coming up. Right. Right, let me see. Come on. Right, let's see if this works here. Copy. I'm just going to try this again. Right, here we go. Flat Earth data links sending right now. If you can get in, fair dues. I don't know what's going on here. I need a smoke. I did close the page. I've shut it down and started it up and all that stuff. I've shut it all down. The only thing that would be running would be the OBS, and I can't shut that down because it will stop the stream. So I shut down the Chrome thing, started it back up, but it seems to be there just now, so let's see what happens. Fuck's sake, we still got people that don't understand the push-pull thing.
Hey, Del.
Hold on. Oops, wait a wee second here, my screens went all fucking funky here. No, what's going on? Oh, come on. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
No worries. How's it going?
Good, man. How's your day treating you?
No bad.
You know, I was listening to you, Del, talk about, we've got the narrative of both models sort of being pushed down our throats, right? Both are sort of limited. One is sort of limited in a way.
Yeah.
Well, I guess the dome type is limited. You can't leave it, da-da-da-da. And the ball has its limitations. But in reality, if you look at it, Antarctica reaches about minus 90. I think man can go to the bottom of the ocean, maybe 11 kilometers, I think, and they can dig 8 miles, so it's about the same. So just in reality standpoint, we have limitations naturally. We can only go so high, we can only go so deep, and we can only go so far in distance.
Yeah.
So regardless of the conceptual idea of either model, we're limited as far as we can travel. Now, when I look at 1960 and Mark Sargent and you got to ask yourself, okay, you're right. If I was to control a population, I would suppress any truth, and I would maintain a totalitarian narrative, as opposing to let people have freedom of speech, right?
Yeah.
So if you look at 1960, man did have all this technology they developed for war. That's the truth. All these missiles, or the Saturn V is a glorified war weapon. Let's be honest here. It was designed by a military for war, for the act of killing people. So when you look at World War II in the 1960s, all this, modern man concept, they did not, like, if you go on USGS website, they had no idea the topography of Earth. In fact, in 1975, I think they spent $640 million because they still didn't know the size of Earth, like topography, like the data-wise. So you have all this technology, planes, but we're still limited. It doesn't matter the model. The simple reality to physics is we're limited to how deep we can be compressed and how high we can be uncompressed, so to speak.
Yep.
And it's just facts. So it doesn't really matter if it's a globe or it's a thing. Now, in all fairness, there is something that's containing the gas pressure. This is a law of one of the natural laws that we have. In order to have pressure, you need something to push against. So what is it going to be? Is it going to be a crystalline dome? I mean, you look at Hillary Clinton. She's mocking she's in interview after interview during the 2016 election going, well, you can't see it, but we're standing underneath a glass ceiling. And she's mocking people. We understand the concept of, for somebody new to achieve something, they're going to break
but you can deduce.
Sorry, go ahead, Del.
Yeah, of course you can deduce. As I said before, possibilities from practical reference and how physical reality functions. But that's my only issue. It's where do people get the right to go from that to start making affirmed statements like it's a dome? That's my only issue.
Well, I think they've always been mocking God, right? So that's the truth. God has always been mocked here at all corners, in my opinion. I look at modern man and I look at them mocking.
What do you mean? What do you mean
by
that?
Well, it's not the God. It's not it. Okay, so creation. Let me rephrase that. They're mocking creation. Everything that man stands for, they mock it. They mock the intelligence. They mock the brain. They mock the immune system.
Yep.
They mock the food that we eat. Everything is a synthesis of what's been created naturally. Man, there's these, like, imagine yourself, the way I look at it, imagine yourself super rich. You can't. Even if we can sit here and imagine ourselves super rich, we can't, because it's a frequency of thought, it's a way of living, you just can't get there. These people that have that kind of money realize where their limitations are.
Yeah.
You can't tell somebody with that much power and that much money that there's limitations. It's like telling a 5-year-old who has access to a cookie jar at all times, you cannot have this cookie, sir. And, so what they do is they internalize it on man. Okay, if I can't leave this place, I'm going to psyop every single man I can, because that's the only control that I have over you. And if you look at the Vatican, if you look at the United Nations wants to take over Canada, United States. How do you destroy the science education system? Well, you completely, you discredit it. So that's what's going on. Flat Earth is discrediting the theoretical sciences, the astrophysicists. It's demolishing Einstein, and it's demolishing Newton. And slowly but surely, they'll have no choice but to bring objective reality into the conversation. And now subjectivity is removed out of it. Well, they don't want complete subjectivity removed from it. Right? They don't want everybody in objective thinking, because then there would be no, what am I going to sell you on next? What t-shirt you're going to wear, Del? You're going to wear, like, what am I going to say now? It's a dome. You're going to wear dome t-shirts now? Give me a break. It's all mockery.
Yep.
So once we realize it's all mockery, it destabilizes everything. So it's not really a solution. It's actually just to destabilize everything. That's how they're going to come in and control it. So it's all going to lead back to the church when chaos begins.
Yep.
Because the church is the one saying, well, here, no, it's a ball. But wait. What did Son Genis come out with? He's now teaching geocentricity, and he's a theologian. So come on, people, like, wake up. It's there in your face. The only thing I suggest you do is just help the process, speed it up. Write off some pamphlets and go, how to prove the earth's flat, and hand it off to people.
Well, that's the problem. You know, that's where my suspicion is. You know, that they're going to offer up some bollocks narrative of where we actually are again. So
well, we're limited to our own personal technology. Okay.
I don't get. What I'm trying to get to the root of here is the point that you're trying to make. I'm kind of lost in what the point is that you're trying to make.
It's more of okay. If you were going to choose what system you live in, what is more of a plausible idea that contains gas pressure? What is the descriptive nature in the early 1920s of our environment that we lived in?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out the point.
Well, the point is, Del, is you're questioning the constant narrative or the constant push of a snow globe, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm saying it's a form of mockery, as the globe is. So it's no different. They're still mocking creation.
I totally agree. That is mockery.
What's that?
I agree. I mean, there's no reason to push a snow globe. Is that your point?
Well, there is a point. Hold on one second. Sorry, I'm just interrupted there for a second. So there is a point. Because if you're going to offer up a truth, the best way to offer up the truth in plain sight is to mock the hell out of it.
What? So you're thinking it's a you're coming from. I just want to clarify so I can understand your point. You're coming from the position that it's a reverse psychology game of, you know, we'll ridicule and mock the snow globe, when in reality you think it is a snow globe.
So it's not a snow globe. That's why they're mocking it. It's not an actual snow globe, Del. We don't live in a model, Del. Okay, we don't live in a model.
I don't know why you're speaking to me. I don't know why you're trying to speak to me as if I'm somebody that makes these types of claims.
Because I think you're overstepping here and missing the point. It's not the point of a snow globe. It's mocking the truth, the fact that we live in a contained environment that's level. The snow globe is a mockery of that.
Have I not established that and stated that over and over and over again? I can deduce.
Okay.
But
the reality is we are in a level plane that is enclosed, and most likely the closest representation is that bullshit snow globe, but we don't live on a model.
Exactly. So why would you say it's the closest representation? Why not just say I can deduce from physical reference that air pressure must have some sort of containment? That's as far as it goes for me.
Okay. Well, when you research like the barriers of missiles and the atmosphere, and you get you look at, there's something that's there. Right. There's something that right. Obviously I can't test.
How through that reasoning process do you arrive at a snow globe or a dome?
So the globe is the inversion of truth. The
globe is just a concept. You're stating that it's an inversion
the
of
globe
truth.
Is, the
You're
globe
using
is the
circular
inversion
reasoning.
Listen,
You're using some sort of circular reasoning here by just making the statement that it's an inversion of something that you presuppose is true, which is bullshit. What I'm asking you is, how do you get to the establishing affirmation that it's some sort of dome? Based on a deduction of physicality, and there has to be some sort of air containment. By the way, that's only in reference to the globular claim. If the claim is proposed to me that the Earth and its atmosphere exists in some other medium, then deductively there must be some sort of separation between those two mediums. Right? That in no way, shape or form denotes that it's a dome or any form or shape whatsoever. So I don't get your point here at all.
The globe is the inversion of the level plane that's enclosed.
The globe is an inversion of a level plane. How do you invert a level plane to be a globe? An inversion of a level plane. An inversion of a level line is a level line. So
a circle disc versus a sphere, right?
But that's not an inversion of a sphere. listen, I don't know if it's just I fail to grasp the language. You've made statements here and I don't want you just running away from it. I'm not trying to be confrontational. I'm just not going to let this happen. So an inversion of a level is a level. An inversion of a level never turns into a dome or a sphere or any of these things.
A circle to a sphere, right? So if it's a circle, if it's a flat circle where we live on, right? Then it's a globe if it's an inversion of a flat circle, right?
No,
it's the opposite. A circle is a 2D plane, and a sphere is a 3D plane, or a 3D surface. Sorry, right? A 3 dimension. Sorry, 3D dimension.
Total different geometry.
So what I'm saying is that they already know that it's a flat level plane and it's in a circle shape. Okay, and I can prove that with the diffraction limit of the human eye. I can tell everybody. Yes, I can prove it, Del. So
you can prove that the Earth's a circle. You can prove to me right now the Earth's a circle. Is that you just stated that?
Awesome. So I'll tell you how I can do it. You take the diameter of Earth, which is 7,918.
Stop.
You times it.
Stop.
Let me finish, Del.
Stop.
I'll tell everybody
No. Stop. Diameter of the Earth. How did you establish the diameter?
Okay, so I will tell you how it's related to the human eye if you just let me speak without interrupting me.
How did you establish the diameter of the circle?
Exactly, Del. I will tell you how I did it if you remain silent. Okay, everybody, take a piece of paper and a pen. The diameter of Earth is 7,918. Times it by... Let me finish, Del.
Listen, how did you get those figures?
Research, Del, and practical experimentation,
Fuck off.
experimentation,
you, son. You're just
and
a
observation.
So,
I will let...
Bolts. You're not wasting my fucking time, son. You're asked a fucking simple question. You make affirmed statements of diameters of circles. Now, where the fuck did you get the figures? Fucking asshole. Oh, Earth's a square. Earth's a pyramid. The diameter of the fucking square from one end to the other is 7,000 miles. There's pyramids in Egypt, therefore we live in a pyramid. No, you're not getting to explain flat that. You can't have a conversation. You're a fucking Messiah complex proselytizer. The circle of the Earth has got a diameter of the... Simple question, how did you establish that? Research. I researched it. Somebody wrote it down and said so. That's no use to me, sir. I got my wee meter stick circle thing that I had in primary school, and I walked from Paisley to Antarctica and it clicked 40 gazillion times. Therefore, I'm going to draw an arbitrary circle and say the distance I walked with my meter stick was 6,000 kilometres. It's based on vision, although it's a separate geometry. Right, but I'm just going to transpose that onto three-dimensional tangible reality and make assertions and rubbish up. Here's the thing, I'm an inquisitive type of person. When things are coming in, I analyse it very quickly. When statements are being made, I like to stop. I like to establish point-to-point reasoning, to establish if these things are factual so that I can understand your point. When you don't want to allow that to happen and make out that I'm the bad guy, there's something wrong there. Exactly, Bill. Hope you're well, mate. No, you're just taking the figures that they gave you, transposing that onto a circle. That's what you're doing, flat earth data. You've not established the dimensions of here. When you're saying diameters, diameter of what? Data and information that's given to you? Again, you can't clarify these things. I'm not interested in it. If you're an honest person and you want to have a discussion and you don't want to just come here proselytising that you've got these answers without question, I'm not interested in you. Away you go somewhere else. You can call me names and I'm the big baddie all you like. If you want to reason with me, you need to reason. Which means I'm going to tear apart and analyse every aspect of your processes to see where it's rooted in. How did they establish the radius of the globe Earth? Just arbitrarily defined it as such. Mathematical axioms, it's fucking, we'll make a circle with this diameter and this radius and then we'll just work it for there. That doesn't establish the actual world you're living in. Been to the airport, you know, I noticed this travelling commando. You know, I'm right next to the airport and I used to see pilots all the time walking up and down with their wee briefcase trolley fucking thing, luggage carrier, whatever. And in the last few years I've always been saying, right, I'm going to keep an eye out, and I very rarely see any of them. I've been to the wee flying school thing, had a wee discussion there, I'm going to go back there, but hanging about the airport, you know what they're going to do? Oh, he's a terrorist. What are you hanging about the airport for? Nah, I've not sold it yet, Lewis. It's got a couple of wee issues that I need to resolve on it first. I'm desperately trying to keep a hold of it though. But it's becoming increasingly more difficult. Do you want to buy it? Alright, so somebody sent me a wee wee screenshot. Let me just share this. Hi Dale, I found his comment some time ago under Russian Vids video. Took a screenshot of it. I'm sending this to you because you're talking to him right now. Sorry to bother. See the attachment. Russian Vids the pie. Dale's Tattoos promotes the same ones pulling off the globe deception. He in Dubai deny Christ as well. Need I say more? Flyer data, you got that correct. Lovesy. Aye, very good. Same wee fucking clowns, you know. Ooh, tattoos, ooh. Dale doesn't worship some guy from a book. Therefore, he's a Satanist. Very good. What the fuck is any of that go to do with our predicament in establishing exactly what's going on here? Fuck all. None. North Andrew. See, that's the hypocrisy of these people, you know, they run about in these wee bitch circles talking about people, talking the back over people, then they come here try to proselytise some ridiculous crap. I'm the one for the watching though, aye. That's good. My tattoos are a cult. Cult, so they're, what, hidden? Am I hiding them in the new? Am I hidden? Am I invisible? Is it just me? Am I imagining that I'm seeing somebody on the screen there? I don't even know what a cult means. What you need to establish is what my relationship is to the artwork that's on my body. What's my relationship to it? No just you picking whatever you decide it means and then attaching it to me and running about professing it. That just makes you an absolute fucking crackpot, I'm afraid. I was in the SAS as well. I think I'll get SAS tattooed across my forehead, because that's what you do. You know, when you're in secret operative, you know, type situations and stuff like that, what you do is you just plaster it right across your forehead or where everybody can see it. Brilliant. Intelligence agencies can't figure that stuff out. You know, if intelligence agencies wanted to place operatives within a thing like this, what they're going to do is they're going to go, right, let's get him, right, because he's displaying all this stuff that will make people... This is the thing about the walk of people. Again, this is how you discern who the fucking players are, who the operatives are. It's very, very simple, and I've stated it so many fucking times. We are asking the question of the claim that was put to us, what we were born into. We live on a globe. That's the topic of discussion. That's why I'm here. Now, can anybody tell me the relevance of tattoos, haircuts, demeanour, sweary words? What does any of that go to do with the topic of discussion? Nothing. So there you can see what's actually happening. You've got agent provocateurs in place because they don't like people like me. Real people with no agendas other than finding out the truth. So they spend their time on all this crap. The point is you're religious. You tell me how I'm religious then. Here's the thing again. Bring up my content. Let's focus on the content in regards to the topic that I'm involved in, because that's what I'm here for. Now, through the content, let's analyse that. Let's look at the walk of the content and see where your claims stack up. While we're at it, tell me what religion I'm part of, please. Thanks. But this is all I've got. It's fucking boring as fuck. Now the pattern on my jumper, that'll be next. I know. I don't know, I've spoken about that before, Pragmatic. You know, I can see the place for religion, especially in a place of bewilderment. And if you're trying to organise a structure like a society, you need to have something that transcends it. You need to have something that centralises people as a focus and a rule which is over them, which is pretty much like the justice system, because they need something that transcends just human beings. It's all about God and the overseer and morality and ethics and yada yada. So I can see its place if you want to build a society. But there's the thing. Why are people trying to do that? Why are we trying to impose a rule over all? That's just no right, as far as I'm concerned. Here's James Ormes. They certainly do, Pragmatic. So I've spoken about before, I can see wisdom in certain things, you know, but it's all dressed up in ambiguity and it's not just concise and blah blah blah. But I can see uses in it. I can see positives in it. I see negatives in it. I know my jumper's a Freemasonic jumper. That's it, Trackmatic. You know, I know FPV Angel, they're coming from that as well. As I say, I've never spent much time with things like the Bible or these things. I've just never had the attention span for them. For me, I kind of I always look at kind of surface understanding and try and feel any relevance or use to myself as an individual. And I've just never seen any in it. My curiosity's never taken me in that direction. So I'm talking from ignorance in regards to the way that you're interpreting it, and the way FPV Angel and other people that are involved there are interpreting it. It's just not my avenue of attention right now. So I've not got anything to say on it. Yeah. No, I'm not on Facebook. Right, I'll be back on tomorrow evening. Open platform. It's only going to be an open platform for as long as there's requests for people to say. Trackmatic, anybody else, why not come and have these discussions? It would be great to have discussions about these types of things. I'm open and willing to learn different points of view, perspectives, interpretations of what the people think is going on. Let's have a discussion. Send me an email. I'll be on tomorrow evening. We can take it from there. As I say, I'm not going to do any justice talking from my ignorance. I've only got a surface, view of some of these things. So, as I say, I can only have attention for so many things. I'm sure people get that. It's the same for everybody. So, anyhow, I'll see you all tomorrow evening. Bye bye. Take care.